Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hello, Arlene. Haven't seen you for a while. That's kind of weird. I'm telling you, my camera and my computer and we just are not getting along well. It's really dark at this part of the camera, and I don't know why. It could be, it's what, 6, 7 years old. Maybe it's thinking it's time to be replaced. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those weeks. Okay, it's just one of those years. Who am I kidding? Hi, Kim. Hi, Laura. Hi, Candy. It's been a while. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. So, I shared the picture. This is the original that I did a long time ago, and I still love it. It actually hangs in my hallway. Um, the one thing I did to be, and I don't know for sure where it's at, but before I put the face on here, I scanned the background. So I have that to use in other things because, it's my doodles, it's my painty papers, and I don't know, it just turned out really cool. I really like that part of it. So anyway, that is what we're making. And I have this pattern here. Mine's on a graph paper. I had made a bunch of graph paper and didn't use it all, and I had it put in the computer the wrong way. So this is the side that's showing. That's okay. Now I did go and print one on cardstock, but I forgot to grab it before I came in here. So maybe in a quick, I'm sure I'm going to have to go potty. We all know that's going to happen. And maybe I'll grab it then. So you have the pattern. This is, and if you take them and hold them up to a light, you'll see that they match. These are all hand drawn. And this one is actually bigger than it fits all of this size, but it's a little bit longer so that you've got room to overlap because this one and this one kind of become your base. These just stick out. The nose just sticks out. So anyway, that's what, they're a little different than this, but not a lot. There's a couple of ways you can do this. Hi, Darla. You could take your paper right here and do your background and then glue your stuff on, or you could put your stuff right on here and cut it out and then put it on a background. So it's totally up to you. I had thought about putting my background on here, but it's a good, I printed on a heavier copy paper, but I want the background. I want a little more stability because I don't know what I'm going to do for sure with it. Another thing you can do once you have printed these, and by the way, if you don't have, hi Sherry, if you don't have the pattern, it is available on my Ko-fi store, which the link is down below. Oh yeah, that would be. I don't know that I could think that far. Anyway, the link is below my Ko-fi store. There's no charge for it. Feel free to download it. But something I was thinking after the fact, of course, is this would be kind of fun to take and print it so you have your pattern and then reduce each page the same percentage. I originally thought I was doing it right. I wanted to put my copyright on there, but I don't know what I was doing. Somehow it all came, these two came down in size, but the left face didn't. But it would be kind of fun if you don't mind working small. Hey Susie, good morning everyone. Glad to see you all here. If you don't mind working small, it might be kind of fun to reduce it, however much percentage you want. And then you would be able to make little ones that could go in journals or on a card or something like that. And I thought about that, and I may still do that. Who knows what I'm going to do? But I figured for today, I'm going to work on this bigger size so y'all can see it better. And so, what do we need? We need the pattern, unless you want to draw your own and do your own thing. That's really cool too. And regardless, if you do this pattern or you do your own thing, I would love to see you put them in either Crafting for a Cause or Kim's page. Oh my gosh, I'm just drawing a blank, Kim. Somebody can put in Kim's page and Crafting for a Cause. And, I'd love to see what you do. I had several that showed us last month's work, and that made me happy. I love seeing that. I love seeing what somebody else does because everybody did them different. And the same with this. Everybody's is going to be different. Some of you are going to reduce it and make it smaller, and some of you are going to make it simple, and some of you are going to be way complicated. So, anyway, um, that being said, let's kind of get started with what you need. You need scissors. You need glue. You can use a wet glue. You can use a glue stick. Use whatever you like. I always tell you what you need. Use what you have. Okay, that's a good idea. ATCs. And see, like I said, draw your own if you want. Um, I am having Easter tomorrow with my kids. We had birthday parties last weekend. And so my twin grands are autistic, and I wasn't sure they could handle 2 full days. So we're having Easter tomorrow. So I've got cooking to do, and I have some more cleaning to do because they're littles and it's they're kind of wild. And so, got to make the house okay for them. Got to get the dog poop out of the backyard. I'm sure my youngest granddaughter will think they're Easter eggs. So, anyway, sorry. I had to come up with something that was easy. I was digging through ideas and patterns, and I found my pattern, and I'm like, oh, it's done. It's ready. That's what we're doing. Then you need painty papers, or you need scrapbook papers, whatever you want to make each individual piece out of. And, it doesn't really matter what you use because you could use all solid papers and then draw on them and make them funky, kind of weird and wild. So, that being said, I can't think of much else that you need. You need papers, and you need glue, and you need scissors. I'm sure something else will come up. Markers, pens, crayons, watercolor, paint, whatever it is you want to decorate with. Yeah, jelly prints are good. I kind of jump. I tell you what, my words just don't know where they're coming from. I kind of like put jelly prints and painting papers all into the same category because most of mine are jelly prints, but then I take paint and do other things, or paint markers and do other things. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and work right on this so I have the placement. But you know what? You don't have to. Now that I think about this, I'm not going to. I'm going to go a different route. And now that I think about it, this is how I originally done it. Let me grab a piece of, I printed some, I had some issues with my printer. And so I have like 6 or 7 of these things that, you know, I had to keep printing and keep printing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it up here. I know y'all can't see that, but so I can see. And I'm going to start off with the 2 face pieces. And those I'm going to cut out. And if you want, you can cut this a little bit wider through here. You know, you don't have to be perfect because it's all going to, I mean, it can all be trimmed. It can all be shaped. And it can, you know, there is no right or wrong. Everything I do is, I always say there is no right or wrong. So we'll get this out of our way. Oh, and by the way, I have already come up with ideas for a couple of times, couple of months. This one's Kim's fault. She shared with me something made out of toilet paper rolls. I know some people do not like using toilet paper rolls, but these were really, really cute. And then, of course, I had to take it another step. And then I shared a picture of something made out of a Kleenex box. And so yesterday I had to run to Dollar Tree so that I could get sidewalk chalk. We have a cinder block fence all the way around our backyard. And my grands love to ride on the fence. And that's something they've done every Easter. So I had to go get some. I didn't put any in their baskets this year. So I have, I bought a box of Kleenexes, cheapies, because, you know, I like the soft, real good ones, you know. Okay, so I have this part right here. Anyway, I'm just a basket case on words today. Just talk. I bought cheap Kleenexes and I tore up the box. I have this stack of Kleenexes there. I figure they're good for a couple of different things. So we're not wasting them, but I'm not wasting the good ones either. So I have a bunch of painty papers. I bought these really cool markers that has a magic marker, and you go over, you do one marker and then you go over it with the others and you get that. And I just was going crazy. I thought, oh, I think I did 3 or 4 pages. So I have those. I don't really know for sure what I want to use. I do know that I have a lot of painty papers here. And I have a lot of magazines and stuff too. So magazine pages. And, you know, maybe I'm going to find something I love. And then maybe when I get going with other things, I'm not going to like that. But I really like this. This was a background paper. And so that's what some of the doodles are. And I don't know, there was something about it I really liked. So that's the one I think I want to use for now. Now, I could trace it out and then cut it, but I am going to just hold it and cut it because my cutting skills aren't that good anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. And, you know, you could kind of eyeball where you want something. I'll show you what I'm trying to say, but let me get around this curve. Okay. So you could take your pattern and say you want, let me find something that jumps out at me. Let's say I like this and I want my face to have this in there. You know, I could take this and kind of visualize it. I could glue it right onto that and then cut it out. So, you know, there's a lot of ways you can go about this. And a lot of these pages are just doodled in color pages. So I'm not sure when to do all of that. And I probably need to pull out my box that says needs more stuff, because I always have papers that don't have a lot of stuff on them. And this would be a good time to use those, because I could put my own um, marks on there to make it however. Oh, and I just found this black checkers. That's going somewhere. Yes, it's a magazine page, but it's okay, because color is color. And yes, I'm sitting here digging through my stacks of papers, and I guess that I probably should have found what I wanted prior to digging through all of this. And I'm just kind of auditioning what I think might work. And maybe this isn't going to work, because I'm not really finding anything I like with it. So you just don't know. No. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to find exactly what I like with it, and it's just not going to be the right size, because right now I'm trying to use up the scraps. And I'm not loving anything I'm finding. That's okay. I think maybe this is just lighter than what I'm used to, and that could be the problem I'm having. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things you'll know what it is when you see it. You'll know what works for you. Okay. Let's see. I'm liking some of these with it. I'm just not liking it next to it. So I am going to pull out. I'm going to do something real quick. That's a cool idea. I love it when y'all try something and then I learn something new off of that too. So that's good. I think we're going to have to go pastel. This is just kind of what's jumping out at me is I really like this. And I like this here too. Now, a lot of that would be covered up with the eye. I don't love it though. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You know when you got the right thing. You just know. And I'm kind of not there yet. I think most of this is real littles. And I keep telling myself I don't need all this stuff. I don't need all this little bitty bits. And yet I'm still here doing it. Saving them. I like to stitch them together. And I kind of like that. But I don't think it's going to fit. Oh yeah, it'll fit. Let's see. No, don't like it. Hi, Belinda. I'm reaching for my box of needs more stuff. Okay. So nope. 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 As messy as that is the closest thing I've liked so far. And I don't know why all this blue stuff keeps showing up in my work. I don't know where that comes from. I do have to say I tend to use a lot of blue, but that one's not bad. And you know, maybe I could just go with something solid. And then I can do something on it too. So that's a maybe. You know, when we get to this point where I have enough maybes. Somebody's going to have to make up my mind for me because, ooh, I like this. I like that blue. Okay, that's enough maybes. I'm just going to go through here and see if we can find the right piece. So, I want some of that blue. If I put it up towards the top, it's going to be mostly covered by the eyeball. And you know what? I am just going to do something. This is the one that appealed to me the most, as messy as it is. You got to remember there's going to be an eye on it. So, and a cheek. Oh. I kind of do too. I kind of like the solid. I do kind of like this. That's too much yellow there. Okay, we're going to try this one and this one. And I'm just going to put them together. And cut it out. And then I will decide which one I like. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm using too big of sheets. And so I'm seeing great big next to the little part. You know, I've already got piles of stuff. I'm not going to find things when I get down to the next step. All right. So we have this one. And it's not what I thought it was going to look like. And we have this one. And this one's going to do. It's not exactly what I want, but I think I can work with it. I think I'm going to work with it. Sometimes we just have to do that. We don't have to say it's perfect. We're just going to work with it because maybe that's exactly what it needs. It's done. It needs some loving, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that like that. I'm not going to glue anything yet. Got to figure out what I want the nose. And for some reason, I think it needs to be a red or an orange. I kind of like this one. So I'm going to cut it out. You know what? It'll go into something else if it doesn't work, right? This is all scraps. And when my scraps are long and skinny, those are the ones I sew together. And I am going to put something that, you know, one of my little sewn together bits on here somewhere. I just don't know where. Probably would have to be a cheek because it's going to be something fairly small. Most of them are small. Although it could be the little parts that stick out, which is kind of what I call the hair. Also, in my original pattern, you see the eyelashes. You can cut those out of paper and put them on, or you can paint them or draw them on. There's no right or wrong. So we have our nose. Yep. Because this is kind of a black, but next to this turquoise, it brings the blue in it, and I really like that. So we're good there. All right, now we need, we need them all, so. Where do I want to do, I think I want to do these. And you could easily, why am I cutting these out and then cutting them out when I could just chunk them out and then cut them out. And I think I want to find a paper that maybe has, uh, if you notice too, my original's not up here where I can see it, because I want it to be, um, I don't know. I don't want it. I don't want it to match that. I want this one to have its own personality and its own life. So, okay, that's got to be one of them. And, oh, here's a sewn piece. Maybe I can work that one in. And because I use my scraps for something somewhere along the line all the time. Oh, look what I found in my box, Kim. So Kim's been doing faces for a long time. I'm pulling out papers now, thinking ahead, thinking, oh, well, maybe this will go with this and this will go in there. So something I probably should have done. But you know what? This morning I have already made coleslaw, plus had my coffee, plus cooked the pasta for the pasta salad and made the dressing for it and cleaned out the refrigerator and did the dishes. So I've got a good start on the rest of my day. I'm hoping that, I get to be done soon and not have to work on them all afternoon, and I can just enjoy my time with the babies. Which, speaking of babies, I'm going to brag on my youngest grandson. Actually, he's the youngest grandchild altogether. I have a video up on my Facebook page of him writing his numbers and saying them. He's counted for a long time, and he counts in all kinds of different. He counts by twos on the evens, and counts by twos on the odds, and counts by 10, and he can count up to 100,000, and he counts backwards. And I mean, he is a number kid, but nobody's ever seen him write them. Well, thanks for stopping in. I need someone to check in on me sometimes. That's something I really need. Anyway, he is writing them down, and this was my first with this one. The other grandma stays with them, and she's their babysitter, and that's good. She's a wonderful person, and I missed a lot of firsts. Their older brother, I've seen every first, and so I feel kind of left out. And when I seen him doing this and I recorded it, it was just amazing because it was my first. So anyway, all right, so I have some things here. I know that I want these two in there. And let's do this because I kind of was thinking that might be good for lips, or that one. I don't know. So let's do this one short. So we'll do this one here. And you guys do them in the order that works best for you. Like I said, this was many years ago. This actually was entered into one of our local art shows. And well, I'm pretty sure I won a prize. I very seldom, sounds terrible, but I very seldom enter and don't win a prize. We are a small group, so that could be part of it. But aside from that point, I actually took Best in Show one year, and that is the only year. And it was kind of funny because I told everybody when we went to lunch like a week before not to even put your stuff in because I was taking Best of Show. That's how proud I was of my piece. So that doesn't that doesn't really happen very often. Okay, I cut this out, but where did it go? Oh, it's still there. Duh. So let's get you guys out of the way here. I'm just kind of still auditioning because you know things could change. And I've got the picture there to kind of guide me in how I put things in. Oh, I love how that ended up on that end. I think this one's going to be the bottom one. And I really like that spiral. Of course I like spirals. I have spirals in almost everything I ever do. And as I've said before, the pattern's a guideline. You're more than welcome. You know, on this one, I'm actually cutting it a little bit fatter. So, well, they want to stay stuck to that. So there's that one. And this one must be the last one. And it goes like this. So I think I want it like that. Double check to make sure it fits perfectly. So is everyone working along on something today? You know, they need to make YouTube show and tell, you know, so you can post images as you're working along. Yes, I am picking out these tiny pieces because I have a can over here that I am putting all my itty bitty pieces in to make a garland. Yes, I know that's kind of weird, but I'm doing that. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Get this little bitty stuff out of the way. The pattern so I don't lose those. Oh, well, mess it up. So I really think I'm happy with this. Actually, this side I like the least. And I don't know. I was thinking I was going to glue it, but now I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Okay. Bear with me. I'm going to pull out the box and I'm going to find something different for that side that I thought that was exactly what I wanted. And I think I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. This is what I want. And I may still be wrong on that too. This just, I don't know. This looked, I got to figure out how to fit it on here right. Okay, we're going to see if this one makes me any happier. So anyone that has already got the pattern or goes to get the pattern, share my Ko-fi with your friends. It's not a searchable place, and I do hope to have something that you can use for almost every. Oh yeah, almost every project that I do. That's my goal, is to have either a printable or a kit of some sort, so that you can. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but this looks much smoother to me. This little part right here where there's white and it needs to be blue, that's really bothering me. But we're going to do this real quick, and we're going to take this turquoise colored pencil, and it's crazy how that just about matched. Yes, perfect. Well, I like it. May not be perfect, but I like it. Okay, so now we're down to eyes, if I can find the rest of my pattern. I'm digging over here and it's right here. Y'all need to be my brain and tell me to look here and look there. I really think I want this little thing up here somewhere. And I'm thinking that it could be an eyebrow. I know. Crazy brain. Crazy brain. Because, even if you don't like it, it's just little bits. It's paper. Oh, it's not. It have to be this one because it's just not quite the right, not long enough for this brow. It might be okay for the other brow. And see, none of these papers are perfection or perfect. So they've got room to grow. Okay, this says right. So that's going over here. That will be the eyebrow. And it will be like close. Okay. So we'll put this pattern, because I'm going to keep these patterns this time so I don't have to cut them all out again. Maybe. Probably have to sit here and go through each piece, Okay. Oh, look, I almost have an eyeball there. I could do that over here on this side. It's way bigger than it's supposed to be, but I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit and see if I like it. So that means that this brow has to be different. And you know what? I'm going to quit thinking about it. I am just going to cut stuff up and hopefully it turns out okay. Because that's what your creativeness does. And I already know, and I've been informed by my friends that I have a creative brain that is just too big for its own good. Oh, that sounds so conceited. I don't mean it that way. I will clarify. I went to get an MRI this week, and the helmet that they put on you didn't fit my head. And I was told this because my brain is so creative that there wasn't room. So maybe that's true and maybe it's not, but that's the story I'm buying because it sounds good. And I am making my brows bigger than the pattern too. Oh, yes. I don't know about y'all, but I really like this. Okay, so we need the right eye. That's definitely going to have to be smaller because there's not going to be room for the other eye unless I stick it way off to the side. So we have to have an eye over here. And that's that eye. So we're going to kind of set that to the side. Let's get, there's an extra eye in your pattern right here. And I think that's kind of for you know, placement, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. So let's do this eye. Well, I know that this is what I want for the lips if it fits. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Trying to get the little bits. I love this silicone mat for protecting my table, although it doesn't really matter because. Bye, Arlene. Have a good day. It's really hard to pick things up off of. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, what do we got? Right eye. I think it needs to be something really dark. Actually, what I did in my original, I just happened to glance down there, is I did cut the eyes out of white and then put that on. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to do something different. I don't know what. No, let's go with the green. This wild green here. And the pattern on this is going to possibly leave my circle in the middle of my eye right off the bat. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, this has got to come down. I guess I'll go with the pattern. Well, sort of the pattern. I really like this over here, so we're gonna. No, I like this. So now we're going to do this. I think somebody forgot that I am doing a live today. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. So there's the brows. And actually, I call it a brow, but it's not. It's actually the upper eyelid. That's how I had it in the original. And then they get the eyeball in there. So let's find cheeks. Again, do whatever works good for you, whatever you happen to like. You do not have to follow the pattern. It's just a simple guideline. Okay. Need to find something that's got some darkness to it. Solidness to it, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is something I already had cut out. I don't know if this is going to work, but I thought this was kind of cool to test and see if it does work. And I have a couple other things that I'm grabbing. You know, if your colors aren't quite what you thought they were going to be or not working, we're going to go over this with some pens and pencils and make some marks and change some things and shade, and that's what's going to turn it into its own thing. So I'm going to take this and try this. Separate that out. I don't know, they're a little bit big. But they might work. I kind of like it. It's got some more work to do. It's got some more work to do. I am going to try this side. I don't see the left eyeball, so let's just use this as my pattern. And see, because it kind of needs some more blue on this side, so we're going to go that way and just see. See if we like the blue any better. It kind of felt like we needed blue over here. What do y'all think? The blue eye or the pink eye? Okay, now that I've seen it and said it, it's the pink eye. Hi, Susan. I'm going with pink eye as a tribute. Those that know, I just went through an episode of Pink Eye. So I think that this should be pink. So I'm okay with that. So I need a cheek. And I have that already cut. No, it just gets lost in there. So let's find something wild and crazy. I'm actually not going to use the cheek patterns because, believe it or not, I can cut a circle. Well, I can cut a circle that's good enough. And I like this area right here. So I'm going to make a cheek, or my version of a cheek. And my original was all pretty much contained. I'll bring that up again real quick. But I have decided this one is not going to be contained. It might have sticky outy things because, it's okay. It's art. So it's not laying here perfect, but it's good. It's okay. I think we'll do, this is our other cheek. Again, I'm just using this as a guideline so they're similar. Just kind of got a point on the end. We need to, and I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure. So now I need centers for the eyes. And I could just draw that in, which I think would probably be wiser for me. So I think I have all my components. So I am going to start putting it together. I'm just going to move everything out to the side. And we'll start with this one. And I think I'm going to use my handy dandy little glue press. I can't say enough how much I love this thing. I know, I say it every time y'all hear me. It's got its own little pin that I keep close at hand because it doesn't really clog. It just kind of gets a little film over it. So I'm gonna make a little mark. So I know where it stops on the glue. Okay, we're good there. Let's put the nose on. Gonna grab a pencil. That pen didn't work very good. So right there. I don't want to put glue where it's going to get stuck down to something else yet, because I don't want to do that. I had thought I was going to do that, just gluing it onto this paper, and I may still, but I am not. It'll hold together. Even though things are going to stick out, it's still going to hold together. Okay, so we're going to put on the little hairs. And this one's just a piece of copy paper. This one's real flimsy. So we got those done. I love the little stitches showing in there. I don't know if you can see that really well. Okay, so we got the cheeks and they're going to stick off. Hang on a minute. I need to close the studio door. Go. I didn't realize both dogs were in here too. I could holler at him and tell him that, you know, I'm live, but hey, he's running the vacuum. I'll have to just grin and bear it. So I really like that, but I don't think that's really it needs the contrast. So we're just going to go ahead and put the eye on. And let's do this eyeball. And I probably will have to come in here and go around the edges a little bit. So that, you know, it's glued better. Let's see, do we like which cheek on which side? Are they just too much alike? Are they too big? They're not, I'm not loving them. I don't like this either. It's too pokey looking. So we'll have to find something else. What do we want? Again, I'm feeling the need some darkness. I have to cut it from this side because it's gluey and I don't want it to stay stuck. Onto the part I'm using. Okay. Let's see if we like this better. Yes, we like this better. We need to trim it down a little bit. Make it fit better. And we're going to have to trim the eyeball a little bit to go with it. There we go. I'm happy with that. Let's put some glue on there. Yes. Like it. Okay, so we like it better this way. I really love this, but I'm not sure that's the right one now. I don't know why my mind is thinking it has to be something in pink because it's a cheek. I'm going to just try this because I really wanted some of this on there. So we're going to just see because it's easy to use it for something else. What do you think? Yeah, it is. It is kind of crazy sometimes. In my days of teaching jewelry making, we could do just a basic stretch bracelet with kids, and in 10, 15 minutes, they got the bracelet done and they're thrilled with it. But a grown up would take close to an hour. So, what do y'all think? This is too light. I think we'll stick with that. And maybe let's let the eyes stick out a little bit. I got to trim that. It's kind of like a forked eye there. There we go. So, what do you think? Now, when I outline it, that's probably going to show up better. I wish I had made the nose a little fatter, but that's okay. But I still like my mouth. I love the little black on it. I know that's kind of weird, but I do like that. Oh, and I saved that black and white for something, didn't I? I wanted to put some black and white on there. I guess maybe I'll have to draw it in. So the mouth is good. Get some of these pieces out of here. Okay, let's go ahead and put the eyeballs on. So I'm just going to do the bottom half. Oh, wouldn't this be fun to take to the sewing machine and stitch it all down too? With no more glue than I have on it, that might work. That little point out of there. I kind of like this. I kind of really do. Okay, so we need pupils in there. I think I'm going to draw that in. And I wish this one came out a little more to a point, but it is, well, what am I saying? I can fix that. Little outline's going to cover up that little piece that's not even. There we go. Much better. Okay. So my face, basic face is done. Now it comes the decoration. And then we have to consider what we're going to do for the background. Probably I'm just going to set this aside and do the whole background. And I really like the zigzag, and that's what I'll probably put the black and white into. So what do you think? Yay? Nay? I mean, it's paper. It's got lots of possibilities to be changed. I may have to get out new pins because somebody used this pin and just put the lid on like that, not all the way clicking, and it's kind of dried out, and I wasn't very happy with that someone. That someone was me. So, and it's brand new. That's what drives me crazy. And it's just not going to work very well. So, then it goes to the file 13. And I'm going to have to get the box out with all the markers because my little cup doesn't have enough good ones in it. I don't know how this one's going to work. Does anybody else do this? Pull something out of the trash to use for scrap paper? I do that all the time. So, gonna outline all my pieces. I got this really cool stamp in the mail from Susan. And look what it writes. Can you read that? Oh, it's kind of fuzzy. This one's actually a little better. It's hard to see. It says Shenanigans. I thought about that. I do that with my paint markers all the time. I'm always, I don't know, some of them have been refilled so many times I have to finally get rid of them because the nib or the tip is just worn down. Usually, and that's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to bring a piece of paper over here because I think I'm going to use this as my background and I don't need to scribble all over it. So, when I do the outlines on anything, the outside, I use my chisel Sharpie and I just do this. And it's really crazy. I can actually go pretty fast. And people say, how do you do that without, making a mistake? Yeah, well, I make a mistake and then I just put some white dots on it and it looks like it's supposed to be that way. And sometimes they're consistent in size and sometimes they're not. And that's okay too. This one's a little tough because of the stitching. But this is always faster. And I can tell right now that this has only got a couple stitches holding it together. So it's going to need a little bit of glue for stability. But it is going to be glued down to something, so it's going to be okay if I don't lose it in the meantime. And I know not everybody outlines. Nothing looks finished to me unless it's outlined. And I know that drives some people crazy, but I like my outlines. And they don't have to be perfect because I like the thick and thin. Okay, so we're going to try finishing the rest of these outlines with the Sharpie, not even just the edges. I think I'm going to like it. Okay, I may do the mouth not with the Sharpie. It might be a bit wide. I don't know. Let's go with the paint pen just to see. Because I like the nose, but the eyes really needed that crazy black. Oh, see, look, I splattered. I could quickly wipe that away, but I am going to leave it. It will just be a design element. I don't know what design yet, but it will be a design element. I kind of like the mistakes. It gives me a challenge. Okay, I'm going to put a line here for separate the lips. And now we got to do the outside of the cheeks. Keeping that small because the rest of the outline is small. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll turn it over here so you can see it better. I know these are kind of outlined, but this one isn't as dark as that one, so we're going to use this one to kind of make it a little bit darker. And these eyelashes I am going to draw on, and I will do that after I put it down. But this one, I'm going to do the Wild and Crazy eyelashes. So I'm going to draw those on, and I am going to, I hadn't forgot this, Susan, just hadn't gotten there yet. And I don't like that little bit of the white that's showing in that line. So we're going to fix that with a colored pencil or paint pencil, something. Let's see. The colored pencils are just handy right now. I did a little bit of rearranging. I swear I do that all the time. And I put my paint markers to where I have to go with the left hand. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I'm going to get used to it. I'm going to stick with it because it really is kind of what's going to be the best as far as space wise. It gives me more surface to work on. Okay. Going to do some crazy eyelashes. Not even looking at my picture. And I could easily cut these out of black paper, but the pins are here and that's what I want to do. And each one of them is different. And they could have been colored too, but I guess I chose black. They might actually get some polka dots on them too, because, I can. Maybelline. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe their little eyeliner here at the bottom needs to be a little bit thicker. Okay. And it's kind of funny that the what I wanted to show up in the eye isn't even there, so that's kind of crazy. That's you look at the pictures and you try to decide what it is you want, but then when you get to messing with it, it's probably going to be different anyway. Okay, the face didn't line up very good here, so we're going to have to, I don't want her to have a double chin or a pointy. Well, she's already got a pointy chin. So I'm gonna do the outline this. I kind of forgot this. And I didn't get the lips lined up with that, but that's okay. I think we're good with this. I think I like this. So now, oh, got to do a pupil. So now we can do little extras if we need it. If we chose papers that need a little more embellishment or whatever. This must be a glossier paper because it's not taking the marker quite the same way. Okay, so let's put a little, nope, not yet. That might still be wet, so we're going to wait. Oh, I missed this whole side. The whole outside of the face. Uh-oh. Did y'all see that? It slipped and I have a real wide line. In my doodles, I always love it when that happens. I really don't make it happen, but once it happens, it has to happen somewhere else. Like right there, it just happened. Because then it looks like it was supposed to be. And it probably needs to have one right here where I kind of slipped because that is the character. All right. So I am content with this. I'm really content with this, honestly. But now it needs shading. There's a lot of different ways you can shade. I tend to come back to my, excuse my reach. We're going to come over here to my pencil box. You can take a Stabilo pencil and do that one. And then you can touch it up with water. You can do, this is an ebony, just jet black lead. It's kind of really soft, so it leaves good marks. You can take, this is a Derwent dark wash sketching, and it's again a soft pencil, so it makes good marks. That's an eraser. You can use charcoal. And any pencil. This is another one of my favorites. It's just a stick of graphite. And then if you want, you can just use a plain old drawing pencil. Or this is another one I like a lot, is a pastel pencil. The chalk is really, really handy. You just want a mess. There's just not a nicer way to put it. You just want a mess. And another really fun one, if I can find it, I also have this one, which is a Koh-i-Noor, or I don't know how you pronounce it. This is a technical drawing pen. It's got these huge leads, and it works like a mechanical pencil. I like it. I just don't use it a lot. And this, you can get these at Harbor Freight. You kind of got to, mess with that. Carve it with a knife, but it really blends easy. So then I usually use an eraser and a blending stump. And these are really cheap. You can get them just lots of places. What about the lips, Belinda? Are they not outlined enough, you think? So I'm just going to kind of come around. And you may find that some pencils don't work on some painted papers. You may need to change that. And I'm just kind of re-outlining it now with the pencil. You don't see it a lot, but you will. And after you've done quite a bit of it, you need to go ahead and work on blending it. And it's possible that you will have enough graphite on your blending tool to do some of the areas. Like I could probably come up here and get a little shadow just off of what I've already done. And sometimes you kind of got to go both directions. That's when your eraser comes in handy, because then you can, if you've went too far, you can just kind of keep moving that graphite around or whatever it is. Now the pastel pencils, those will go really good. And sometimes I scribble and sometimes it gets, out of line, and that's okay. I'm just going to keep blending and then stop and look back and see what it is I like or don't like. And this is a little messier than I want, so I'm going to take my eraser. And I don't want the shadows to be a solid line. So I'm going to erase them, which will leave more of a sharp line. And then I'm going to go back in and do this again to soften those lines. This looks like she's got a hairy upper lip, so we're going to kind of do that again. And I do think this line needs to be a little more stark, so we're going to go to the Sharpie. So that's how I do my shading. Um, this was purely an accident. My father-in-law had one laying there, and I was playing with it, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." So of course he said, "Just take it," and I did. And then I went and bought me another one because they're really a pain to sharpen, I think. So I like to have two sharpen. But if anybody knows me well enough, they know I like two of every tool I own. And I'm just going to take this and put a little bit of shading. I'm not going to draw anything because they stand out already. And there's not a lot of shading, but it's just enough. And I hope you can see on here the difference. Let me show you the pastel pencil, because you can buy pastel single pieces like this. Like if you wanted to just get a brown or a black for shading, you could do that. And see, I can't get right up next to that because there's something on the paper that it's not letting me. So it's going to have to be one of those that we go in and adjust with the eraser. And sometimes I don't have to go back in if I use my eraser creatively and kind of bounce it around. Okay, so I'm going to use this over here because this is softer and it's going to leave my lines better. And I don't want them super prominent there in the eye. And it needs sharpened, so that's part of why I'm not getting a good right up next to some of the pieces. So, you know, it's all a learning game. This one I bought when I helped with a junior high art show in Odessa, and some company had a display there, and I was like, I've looked for those forever, and so I was really excited to find that. Okay, I knew there was something I was going to do. Okay, so now it's time to add a little bit of highlights in the eye and the lip. Needs one, and I don't want it to be strong. So I use my best tools. These are the cheapest tools I've ever found. And let's say, okay, I have to double check and make sure things are shaded where I want them. And the cheeks just don't show up well. I don't know if I didn't do this. Maybe that's what I didn't do. Sometimes I find that I forget. I make the marks for the shading, but I don't blend it out, and so it really doesn't show a whole lot. Okay, so do you see the difference already in the way it looks? And you can even do a little bit of shading on the outside edges. I know anybody who does art says you find the light of a side, the light source, and so that's always your shadows are on the other side. I shade all the way around it. It's just something I've always done, and it just enhances an outline, I guess, is what it really does. And so I'm gonna put a little shadow under that lip, and so I think we're gonna into the colored pencils, and I do have some colored pastel pencils up here too. Let's try something. Let's see if we can't add a little more redness to the lips. And then I can come back in with my white. Maybe the white will show up better. Let's try this first. I think I like that. I think I do. Okay, so now I'm going to do, like right here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make that little bit striped. And over here, I'm going to do the same thing. And the only reason I did more boo-boos is because that way it looks like it was supposed to be that way. So on my stuff, if you find a boo-boo, there's always going to be another one. I think they could have a little bit of highlights right there by their eyes. And see, I am it's a big thing to me that there needs to be black and white because that makes your colors pop. I'm not sure if I want to put white dots on the eyelashes. Excuse me. But there needs to be some white in other places. I'm going to try that. Doesn't mean I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to try that. I know this one is glossy, so put a highlights there. I don't know why, but I'm seeing that these have to have some kind of white marks. I don't know if I'm going to love that. I'm doing a very light touch just to kind of give very scratchy feel to that. Yeah, I think that's okay. So there is the majority of what I wanted to do. I do think that some of the patterns on the paper need a little friend, a little enhancing. Like this, right? Okay, so what I'm just gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do until I do it, I guess. Those were already black marks. I'm just making them show up a little better. I can add white to it. These seem to get lost to me. So we're going to outline just like if I was doing a doodle or a collage in one of my journals. Just taking what's there and enhancing it or making it show up better or changing it a little bit. And I can always add colors, with colored pencils or whatever. Like to me, this is kind of looking a bit washed out. So I am just going to enhance a little bit. And I can come in and outline anything I want in there also. But for now, I'm just playing. And that's all we can do. That's all we need to do is just enjoy ourselves and make it how we want it to be. And we may not know what we want until we do it. But some of these colors are a little more wiped out than I want them to be. When I originally started this, yes, I was thinking pastels. Who am I kidding? What did I think I could do a pastel for? Actually, the colors of my colored pencils are not my best choices because all my favorite colored pencils are right here in this little case that goes with me when I take my doodles. And you just keep playing until you get what you want in the places you want it. And if you're using a colored pencil and you don't want the starkness, you can easily just go soft and then you can come back in with your blending and give it a little rub and you can kind of soften those lines a little more. Okay, so this cheek is kind of plain and I'm not sure I love it, but I don't dislike it either. So this one's got little black marks. Let's see if we like some little tick marks on here because it just, and that is how I go with all my painting papers. It's like whoever said less is more. I don't know what they were thinking. I really don't. I was going to outline some pieces in there, but I think I'm okay with that. I think the lines make it all, and this is bothering me, and I don't know why. So we're going to add something to that. Let's let's see if we add a little more blue. And that wasn't quite it, so let's try this one. Let's just add a little more colors. I'm going to take my, and you know what I do with these? I put them in my pencil sharpener and then it'll take the majority of it off. And then I grab an X-Acto knife. I can't believe this. All my X-Acto knives are in the right spot. And I just shave it off when I get too much dark on there and I want it for a lighter. So that will let me add a little bit of lightness, blend in the colored pencils. It doesn't work perfect on colored pencils, I'll be honest with you, but it really it does just soften the edge. And that's sometimes all we need. Yeah. See that eye just pops now because it's got a little um a little more dark around the edges. I don't know. And I honestly I just really I don't know. I just do until I like it. There's color wheels and y'all can follow them and do that. I never do. I never have. I just do what I like. And I'm usually pretty happy with that. Not always, but like I've always said, it's paper, it's paint, it's pencils, it's easily maneuvered around, um, and um, fixed how you want. So I'm going to try high, highlighting this with the white pastel. I could do the paint pen and get it more solid, but I want a little bit of the other stuff showing through. And I'm okay with that. Um, this eyelid is kind of plain, but maybe it will be better once it's down on a background with um, eyelashes. So for now, I'm going to kind of leave that, and I think we'll take, and because there's swirls on here, some of this stuff needs a little more outline. Because if you happen to go through my journals and ever look, everything's outlined. See, that just makes that pop. You know, I would love to know if somebody ever thinks that that really doesn't look like it's supposed to. If my mind is just, really out of whack that bad. For now, I'm going to leave. I don't know which eye you're talking about, Belinda, but I'm going to leave them until I get them on a background because I believe the eyelashes over here will define this eye a little bit better. This eye does look a little sad. I don't know why, but it does. And I think we need to put some kind of swirl over here to kind of work with that. Now we have this whole blue that has nothing on it except for where it has splattered. So I'm just going to kind of do that and make it look like it's supposed to. I want it a little smeary because I like that. And I could even do stitch marks to make it look like it's stitched on there. And I like that too. And maybe they're not just plain stitches. Maybe they put little French knots on the end. Okay, now I'm going to want an embroidery on this. This one, yeah, it needs a little something. I'm just not sure what it needs, but I want to wait for the eyelashes. And maybe I don't love that now that I've done it, but it is what it is. And so we can stitch this one on too, just so there's some consistency. This one's not going to get the little knots, and now I like it better. And this white is splotchy over here, so maybe what this needs is a little bit of dots. No pattern, just a little bit. So it gives it a little more texture. And that I like that. So I'm going to call this one done for the moment, and just for the moment, because I want to start on my background. So there's my piece. Looks a whole lot different when it's on not an all marked up thing. So I know what I did on the other one, and I want to do something semi similar, but I'm just not 100% sure. I haven't looked yet, guys, but oh yeah, Darla has, well, she's posted it in a group chat. So of course Darla went with florals, but there she has it before she's inked it. And there's after she's inked it. It's amazing, huh? It looks really good. Oh, anyway, so I like it. I like it a lot. I do think the eyes look a little sad. Maybe this one needs to have a little bit bigger pupil. Maybe that's what makes her look sad. You know what? That did cheer her up a little bit. I hear it in her voice. Okay, so now I'm really losing it, guys. Just deal with me. And you know, if you like, this is more painty paper, and this is just a painted paper. So if I wanted to, I could also come in here. This is something else I do a lot. Let me see if I can get to a paint marker real quick. What color do I want? Let's go with this pink. So if I wanted to just add something, like maybe I want a little pink there, I'll go with a paint pen and then smear it, and then it's part of the blended background. Thanks for coming, Susie, and make sure you share your face. See, that makes a difference just to add a little bit of, and I've done this for years because, I just want to add some color in there, but I don't want a big block of it. So that kind of helps you get, you know, the messy painty paper stuff. Thanks, Darla. Yeah. When I make something, I very seldom make a pattern for it. Why I did this, I don't know. But I'm really glad I did, because even though I have the one that's framed and I haven't even started the background yet, they are different. Similar, but different. And I really like that. Maybe I'll have to get this one framed up too. So, they can be friends. So I think what I'm going to do for the background is I got a bunch of pieces laying over here. You all can't see that. Just a big pile of mess there. And I think I'm just going to, I'll probably use the glue stick this time because I'll be doing bigger pieces. And I'm going to use a piece of this that didn't really get used. And I'm going to tear. And in case you don't know, if you tear this way, you're leaving the white on this side. If you tear this way, you're going to leave the white on this side. So when I tear both directions so that I have an even amount of white. And I'm just going to put some glue on this, and I'm going to put it down somewhere. And I'm going to kind of do something in the same way. I'm going to use some of these that I thought I was going to use and change my mind. And I'm just going to glue them down. I am trying to cover the printing that's on here because I'm going to doodle in places too. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe the other one was all the doodling I wanted to do. Or maybe, just maybe. And I think I'm going to do something real quick here. There's no reason to spend all this time collaging this background when, in all honesty, most of this, actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. Most of this will not be seen. So I'm just giving guidelines kind of thing I'm not going to worry about that. So, like I would put a piece, there's these little marks right here. I could put a piece in there, so um, it just saves you from having to do the whole thing. I'm going to go over those, but I know that I don't need to do clear in here is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, even though I do this all the time, every day, I still try new things. And I got to talk to my crew about some projects I have in mind. And if you know me, I really don't recycle well, and I don't use um, junk like a lot of people do. But I have some really cool projects in mind for that. In fact, I made pasta for the pasta salad, and I saved the box because I got a new idea. And it ain't your normal thing that you would do. Just saying. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this blue because it's on this side. I think I'll put it like, I'm good with that up there. I started to pull the cap off and there's no cap on it. Got to go up over the edges. And some of these pieces that I picked out that I wanted to, that I might use, I liked them, so I'm going to use them in other places. I'm putting this one down here because it's got square edges and I don't want to tear it. I'm not going to use that one. Let's see. Now I'm getting glue in places, so it's going to be kind of a pain to doodle on top of, but that might be where I can put this black and white checkered something. I don't want that stark edge up there. And we got to put black and white somewhere else. And this is a book page out of a book, so it is definitely not tearing as easy as some things do. And I am not thinking about this at all. I am just putting it down because I'm hoping that when I get to the point, excuse me, that I can maneuver it around the way I want it. Well, that's not even going to be seen. So what am I doing there? And these tiny little pieces, yes, I'm just going to stick them down here because they're already gluey and they'll fill in somewhere. Let's put some orange in. I don't know why. I got to get my face. Where did you go? I just want to make sure that I'm not putting like colors next to like colors. That's the only reason I'm going to pull the face out one a little bit here and there. So I think this one will look really good there. And I'm actually going to leave that little hole in there. I say hole opening where this one curves and that one doesn't, because I can then come in here and just kind of outline that, and gonna put some stripes in right here and down here. Now it's kind of got that circular feel, tube kind of feel. So now I've doodled on there, so that's going to give me the black and white that I was looking for. And I have a little space here, so I'm just going to make that black because I just think it looks like it needs it. So you see where I'm going. I'm just piddling around, putting things, no rhyme or reason. I will hopefully, when it's done, it will have some rhyme or reason to it. And I don't know that it will. I have been known not to get rhyme or reason to things. I think you're just going to have to stay out of the picture. Yeah, you're not going to fit there either. Let's... So, Miss Laura, are you making a face? And see, if you've got little openings and you're not sure, you can come in and fill them in, and they just kind of blend in. Getting marks all over my mat. That's okay. See, I kind of like how I just took that down to fill that little spot, but I think it needs another little corner here. I mean, it needs that edge just to make it look like it's supposed to be that way. It just changes it. I don't know. That's just how I roll. Backwards most of the time. And so I think that I'm going to make a mark here because I think I'm going to doodle in this area because it's really light there. So I'm kind of just doing everything all at one time with no specific plans for anything. I do think we have that turquoise in 1, 2 spaces. I think we need it one more place, and I'm not sure where. No, not that high. Maybe here. Maybe there. I don't want the white, so I'm going to have to re-tear this. So I started off just no rhyme or reason putting things down, and after it starts to fill up a little bit, then you can use your rhyme and reason. Yeah. So I have my turquoise in a three places. Got my orange in three places. Well, I got it in more than that, but that one orange is in three places. Boy, I'm going to have enough to do my little garland that I wanted to do. When I get done with this with all my scraps. You know, something else that would be fun to do with this is washi tape. Of course, washi tape isn't really meant for collage, and so in my opinion, it would have to all be glued down. But um, I think it would still be cool. I am going to grab, I have a project that I'm working on of my own that is taken all of my, and yes, I am using some of my originals of painting papers and doodles pages and stuff like that. And I'm just cutting them all up into squares, and they're going to be a project. But in the process of that, I have found a lot of my doodle pages that I have scanned them in, so I haven't lost them. I can use them over and over if I want to, and it's been wonderful to have some of these originals and or copies to use in other projects, because a lot of the black and white doodles I've ever done are strictly just done to be in my journal. They are not really intended to be um, anything specific. I just did them. So now they get to be in something. And now, of course, I can't find them. I had a bunch of them ready to use, and I'm not finding them. I thought they were right here, but they're not. Too many little trays of goodies here. I should have been a bit more prepared, and I apologize. I should have pulled out what I needed, so y'all didn't have to sit and watch me. There's some this coloring pages. That's another good collage material. There's a doodle. I can work some of that in there. I thought in this stack of stuff there was some black and white doodles, but there is not. Oh, yes, there is. I knew I seen it somewhere earlier. I would love to get all of the painting paper and doodle bits and stuff that I have accumulated. It's, I don't have a massive amount. I have more than enough, but I would love to get them all used up so that I can make more. That's what I really like to do. Okay, so we're going to move this for now. So I'm going to use a piece of my doodle over here. And I really like this part. Oh, wait. No, I'm going to do this one. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. I can tear it a little bit if I need to later. And I know I don't need it much longer than that. So, okay, where did my face go? Don't like it there like I thought I would. I wanted more of it to show. So we're changing our mind again because we can. I should change the name of my channel to Because We Can or Because I Can. Now, a lot of people ask me how I finish my artwork. This is not a piece that I can finish in a specific way because there is Sharpie, there is paint, there is watercolor, all kinds of different mediums. So I'm unable to actually put something over the top of any of this. I like that there. I don't like this lightness that I left in there, but I can draw on that, so that's good. This is cardstock, so it's going to be kind of heavy, but that's okay. So what is everybody doing for the rest of their weekend? And I do really appreciate those that have showed up and joined in on the fun. Whether you're watching or playing. I know Easter's over, but for me it feels like it's just beginning. Okay, I need something with black and white in here. And this doodle is a copy. It's not a original. And I bet this one is 30 years old. So I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to cut this one just because I think I can find the right place for it. We'll see. I keep wanting to put black and white down here, but I can't until I do. I need to just put something down there so I can have the lashes. Oh yeah, I think that'll work really good there. It's not where I originally thought, but I think it'll work really good there. That's good, darling. You need to do a lot of nothing. Come over just a little bit so I'm on the line for the face. So I'm going to cover that up. I left a mark on there thinking I would draw on it. I'm going to use this. It's already cut out. Why not, right? Good, Belinda. Now, not all of that's going to show. The face is going to cover up a lot of it, but yeah, I think we're good. I've got a little spot right there, and it needs to be a color because it's right up next to this. So I'm just going to just squeeze a little something in. Because even if it's something that's similar to something close, it is very easy to just make marks on it, and it'll change it down the road. So there we go. I'm liking this. I'm liking this way more than not that I thought I wouldn't have liked it. I'm just liking it way more than I thought. Well, that's all that matters. Do what you want to do. And that's how I feel like art should be. Do what you want. Okay. I think that might be a bit too busy. So I was working on a project this week, and I needed rub and buff or something like that. And I wanted silver, and I was messing with it, and my silver was solid. And I was really disappointed, but I cut the tube and pulled out a big chunk of it and rubbed it on what I was using, and it worked. But the only problem is I still smell it in here, and it's driving me nuts. I really like this right here. Even though this is magazine paper, I really like this. Let's see if we can find a place where we like it at. I think we can do that. We're going to tear this so it's not a square and put some glue on it. Yeah. Oh, that makes a big difference. A lot more room. So I'm going to go ahead and doodle in here. I don't know what I'm going to doodle. I've been tending to work in lines and dots, but that's what most doodles are, is lines and dots. Give that a little dry time, and I'm going to put some white dots in there. And I might put some white dots in those black dots there too. And yes, This background is busy and the face is busy, and that's okay. I kind of like it this way. Okay, so I need to come up here for the eyelashes. Something with not a lot of detail in there. Mm. It's going to have to be clear in there because too much purple right there by that same color. So one of the projects, I'll just tell you all about it. I haven't got it figured out exactly. Bye, Belinda. Thanks for coming. I am thinking that I want to do some mixed media. I mean, that's what this is, but I have a thought about a little bit different way to do it. And that's not in the right place. Let's see if we can lift that. Yes. Want it up a little bit higher. Yes. And I did still not in the right place. Probably be all the glue wore off by the time I get it where I want it. I've kind of lost my marks for my face. So, okay, we're good there. Let's put a few more marks in here. So, yeah. So what I'm wanting to do is a mix. This little piece of blue right here doesn't even show now. None whatsoever. How crazy is that? That's okay. It's there. I don't know what I was thinking, but got some of it here, so we're good. But I do think I want to put some yellow up here. So what I'm thinking for a mixed media project is doing on a small scale. I say small scale, it's going to be a whole sheet, but it's going to be small scale. Again, I need to toss it off my crew. I have a group of people that help me come up with ideas. I didn't realize so much of that didn't show either. That's okay. Okay, this side is good. This side is good. It needs a little black right there, but we're good. And we need to come back over here with a little bit of something. And let's put that right there. I'm trying to use what I've got, so I don't have to cut up a bunch of stuff. So Laura, are you working on a face? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, I hope you try one. I chose this because I thought, well, it would be easier to clean up than doing painting papers. I don't know what I was thinking. If y'all could see the mess I have, it's definitely not going to be easier to clean up. Although it can kind of be swept off into one little box, probably. I'm really liking this stark black and white in there. Um, it makes me feel good, and that's what it's all about, doing what you like. So yellow and yellow. Okay, so I need that little bit right there and a little something right here. I think we will go with, no. No. Everything I'm pulling out's got too much of the same colors in it. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I know. I pretty much make a mess everything I do too, but there's I was kind of hoping for less of a mess. But I am tearing, my little bits to go into the little garland thing I want to make. And then, my bigger bits, I'm not too worried about. They will just all go in a box. And when I use them again, I'll probably organize them because I have them sorted by size, how I would use them the most. Not that that makes a big difference, but a little bit. It's kind of plain there, but I like it. I can add something to it if I want to. A little plain is never a bad thing. And if, I probably would argue that at another point, but it's to be blue. This here piece I put in that I really thought I loved, it keeps getting covered up. And that's how it works. Sometimes, it just happens. Think. I think I'm going to bring that green down even a little more because there's not a lot of green in here. Oh, yeah. And it's already got glue on it, so let's just stick it right there. And got a couple spots. I'm just gonna, actually I think I'm just gonna do black. It's colored in. Even going on to some of the paint paper just to, fill it in, kind of, maybe, sort of. That one I want. So I'm almost there. And I may have to go back in and outline this more before I'm completely finished because it is not showing up as strong as I had hoped. It's making me a little black area there. That's going to have some white details on it. Okay, so right, these two spots right here. It's really strange for me to be using anything that's got a solid or reads like a solid because I don't very, very often use that. But I'm liking it. I'm trying to get to the point where I can draw those eyelashes on to see if that other eyeball looks all right. So right there, we need something. I don't think this is what I want, but we're going to see. No, it's not what I want. So let's So it's similar to the other one, my original, but it's not. It's got, the background is a lot more messy. And maybe that's not a good thing. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that a lot. I am going to quickly re-outline some of this a little heavier, a little wider line maybe. That means there will be more kind of mistakes that I can come in and add little white lines to if I wish. But I think it just needs to be a little more pronounced for my taste. So it has its own life off the background. Hope that's enough. Yes. What do you think? What is everyone's opinion? Yay? Nay? Too much? Too busy? I mean, it's not like I'm going to change it, but for now I'm okay with it. Yep. There is places that I feel like it needs a little more detail, maybe a little more outlining of some of the pieces, but I mean, these pieces, but I don't think I want to get too outliney because then it's really going to blend into one thing. So, but I think we're good with that. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on this. There's a big area to glue. I know that I am not going to be fast enough to use the wet glue, although I would prefer it. It's going to stick better, but I don't know, I might let this dry for a couple days and then come back in and stitch some places. Okay. Okay, let's do the eyelashes because this poor girl, she needs her eyelashes. Even though they're kind of weird. But everything about her's weird. She has her own personality. Yeah. Ta-da! I think maybe she needs one more little one out here. Just because there's white space and I don't want to color on it. So I really do like this. I'm going to go in here, just add, I know those are white spots and it doesn't necessarily need to have the outline extended like that, but I think that some of this will just, it just needs a little definition. That's coming up. I think I'm okay with this. I think I'm going to take the painting pencils or paint markers and add a little color smears here and there, just just to add a little bit more texture. Like that's pretty blank. And it looks like then, it's just part of the painting papers that way. The edges down here. I think I'm okay with it. I think I like it. It's probably not going to get framed and put in a $40 frame like the other one, and I don't even think you can do it for $40 now. Clean up the edges a bit. There we go. And I could come back in and shade around all of this so it stands up better. Or not it stands up, but stands out. Yeah, it needs that. It needs it a lot. I think we'll do that in the pastel pencil because I want it to be more blendy than the lead pencil's doing for me right now. Yeah. It's easy to put too much of a shadow on. That's why I have my eraser. So you can kind of see how much it stands up out a little bit more right through here where I have already shaded. That will make a world of difference. So I'm anxious to see how everybody's turns out. You can share it and meet your creativity or Crafting for a Cause. They're both great little Facebook groups. And I love seeing, if you don't feel like sharing it and you just want to send it to me, my email is in the description. And I would really love to see what everybody else does. I mean, yes, I drew this by myself, for myself, and now I'm sharing it, and I want to see what somebody else's ideas are. And I love Darla's, and I should have known she would do floral papers because that's just her. So anyway, thanks everyone for coming, and I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next month, second Saturday. What is this month? This is April, right? Wow, May already. Time is just kind of ran together for me for the last 2 months. I don't know. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate you being here. Thank you to anyone who may watch the replay. And, if you do something with it, show me, share it. We all want to see. With that being said, I'm going to call it a day if I can find my mouse. Aha, under the computer. Everyone, have a great weekend. Now I got to figure out how to get out of here. Oh, there we go. Bye, everyone.